First contact and invitation. The star map danced across Captain Alina Reeves' viewport, countless pinpoints of light stretching into infinity. She'd dreamed of this moment since childhood, humanity's first official steps into the greater galactic community. The Horizon Seeker, Earth's most advanced diplomatic vessel, glided through space with the quiet confidence of a species that had conquered their solar system in just a few centuries. "Captain, we're receiving the approach coordinates," Lieutenant Davy Santos announced, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. "The Astral Concord station is exactly where they said it would be." Elena nodded, brushing back a strand of her auburn hair. "Take us in, Lieutenant. Nice and easy. Let's make a good first impression." 6 months ago, humanity had encountered their first alien species, the Marins, a silicon-based life form with crystalline bodies and a fascination with mathematics. The meeting had gone well, but the Marins quickly informed Earth that they were merely a minor member of a vast interstellar alliance known as the Astral Concord. The Concord had been monitoring humanity's development with growing interest and concern. Dr. Sophia Lynn, the expedition's xenobiologist, joined Elena at the viewport. Her dark eyes reflected the approaching station, a massive ring-shaped structure that gleamed like a platinum wedding band against the velvet backdrop of space. "Magnificent," Sophia whispered. "Their engineering capabilities must be centuries beyond ours, and yet they seemed surprised by our quantum communication technology," Elena replied quietly. "The Marin ambassador practically froze when I mentioned our experimental faster-than-light communication system." Major James Foster, head of security, stood with perfect military posture nearby. "That's what concerns Central Command. We're too innovative for their comfort. They've had thousands of years to develop their technology. We've had less than 300 since our Industrial Revolution." The station grew larger in the viewport, revealing intricate patterns etched into its surface, a history written in metal and light. As they approached, smaller vessels moved around it like fish around a coral reef, each with unique designs that hinted at different evolutionary paths and planetary origins. "Final approach," Davy announced. "They're guiding us to Docking Bay 17. Elena straightened her uniform, navy blue with silver trim, the Earth emblem emblazoned on her right shoulder, a stylized globe wrapped in laurels. "Remember the protocol. We're here to listen and learn, but we represent the interests of Earth. We're not here to be intimidated." The ship docked with a gentle shudder, magnetic clamps securing the Horizon Seeker to the station. A soft hiss indicated pressure equalization before the airlock cycled open. Standing in the reception area were 3 representatives of the Astral Concord. In the center stood a Valkyrie, tall, humanoid, with iridescent skin that shifted colors like oil on water. Their eyes were large, entirely black, and seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Flanking the Valkyrie were a Marin and a being Elena didn't recognize, bulky, with gray leathery skin and 4 arms. "Captain Alina Reeves," the Valkyrie spoke, their voice melodious and perfectly translated through the earpieces the human delegation wore. "I am High Counselor Talira of the Valkyrie Dominion and current chair of the Astral Concord. We welcome Earth's representatives to Concordia Station." Elena stepped forward and bowed slightly, as briefed by the Marin cultural advisors. "High Counselor, we are honored by your welcome. Humanity is eager to learn about the Concord and explore possibilities for cooperation." Talira's skin rippled with blues and purples, an emotional response Elena couldn't interpret. "Come, the council awaits." The human delegation followed their hosts through corridors that seemed to shift and adapt as they walked. Gravity remained constant, but the architecture defied Earth's understanding of spatial physics. "The station is partially biomechanical," explained the 4-armed being, who introduced himself as Ambassador Korax of the Jeroen Collective. "It responds to the needs of its inhabitants." "Fascinating," Sophia murmured, discreetly recording everything with her ocular implants. They entered a vast chamber where representatives from dozens of species sat in concentric circles around a central platform. Some floated in bubbles of liquid or specialized atmospheres, while others needed no such accommodation. The diversity was breathtaking. The Astral Concord currently comprises 73 spacefaring species, Talira explained. The Valkyrie, as founding members, hold the position of senior race, along with the Zithar and Moradu, who unfortunately could not attend today. As they approached the central platform, Alina noticed patterns in the seating arrangement. The species that appeared more technologically advanced or physically imposing occupied the inner circles, while smaller or more fragile-looking beings were relegated to the outer rings. Talira directed them to seats in the middle rings, not quite at the center, but not at the periphery either. A sign of their potential value, Alina surmised. Esteemed members of the Concord, Talira announced, their voice carrying effortlessly through the chamber. We welcome the representatives of Earth, whose recent achievements have caught our attention. Their progression from planetary civilization to interstellar exploration has occurred at a rate unprecedented in our records. Murmurs spread through the assembly, some sounding impressed, others concerned. A holographic display formed in the center, showing Earth's technological advancement curve compared to other species. Humanity's line shot upward at an angle far steeper than any other. As is customary, we have gathered to consider Earth's potential membership in our Concord, Talira continued. Captain Reeves, would you address the assembly? Alina stepped forward, acutely aware of hundreds of alien eyes studying her every movement. Distinguished representatives, humanity is honored by your consideration. For centuries, we have looked to the stars and wondered if we were alone. Now we know we are part of a greater community, and we come with open minds and peaceful intentions. She paused, making eye contact with as many different species as possible. We bring innovation, creativity, and a desire to contribute to the common good. Earth has much to learn, but also much to offer. We hope to forge friendships based on mutual respect and cooperation. As Alina spoke, she noticed some representatives nodding approvingly, while others shifted uncomfortably. One species, dark shadows that seemed more energy than matter, huddled together, their whispers creating ripples in the air around them. After Alina finished, a representative from each major species offered comments. Most expressed cautious welcome, but underlying concerns were evident. The Zithar representative, a being composed of interlocking crystal formations, was most direct. Humans develop weapons alongside medicine, military applications alongside civilian ones. Their history is marked by conflict. Can such a species be trusted with advanced technologies? Before Alina could respond, another voice cut in. A small, amphibious being from the outer ring. The Talani remember when similar questions were asked about us, it said, its voice gurgling through a translation device. Restrictions were placed on our development for our own good. 3 centuries later, we still cannot build our own ships without oversight. Talira's skin flashed red momentarily before settling back to a diplomatic blue. The provisional protection protocols exist to guide developing species safely into the galactic community. The Taleni case is not relevant to these proceedings. Over the next 12 hours, the human delegation observed as the Concord debated their status. Alina's team was questioned extensively about Earth's governance, military capabilities, resource management, and technological development. Finally, Talira called for order. We have reached a preliminary decision. Earth will be offered provisional membership status with the following conditions. Earth must allow Concord oversight of all faster-than-light technologies, limit military vessel production to defensive capabilities only, and accept Concord advisors in major scientific institutions to guide development along approved paths. Alina maintained her diplomatic composure, though she felt Major Foster stiffen beside her. The Council is generous. We will transmit these terms to Earth's unified government for consideration. Later, in their private quarters aboard the station, the human delegation gathered to discuss what they'd witnessed. They're afraid of us, James said flatly, pacing the room. All the talk about guiding our development, they want to control us. Sophia nodded, reviewing her notes. Did you notice how the smaller species were essentially ignored? The Teleni tried to warn us, I think. Dovey, who had been analyzing the station's communication protocols, looked up from his datapad. There's something else. The information network here has security divisions I've never seen before. Entire data streams accessible only to the senior races. They're hiding something. Elena stared out the viewport at the stars beyond. The same stars visible from Earth, yet somehow different from this vantage point. We need more information before we make any decisions. Sophia, make friends with the scientific community here. James, discreetly assess their military capabilities. Duddy, see what you can learn about those restricted data streams. Are you saying they'd attack Earth? Sophia asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Not directly. Elena pulled up a holographic star chart. But there are asteroids in our system that could suddenly change trajectory, or solar flares that could be artificially intensified. They have technology centuries beyond ours. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. There's another factor, Davy said, breaking the tension. I've made contact with representatives from other provisional species. Many of them are as unhappy with the arrangement as we are, but they've never had an ally strong enough to help them resist. Elena pondered this. So if we simply leave, we abandon them too. A soft chime indicated an incoming message on their secure Earth channel. The team exchanged glances before Elena authorized the transmission. General Harper's face appeared on the screen. Captain, we've received your reports. The Security Council has made a decision. You are authorized to formally reject the Concord's terms and withdraw from negotiations. Elena felt a weight on her shoulders. General, based on our intelligence, that could trigger a hostile response. We're aware and prepared. Over the past 3 months, we've been implementing Contingency Plan Omega. The General's expression was grim but determined. Your withdrawal needs to buy us 2 more weeks. After the transmission ended, Elena explained the plan to her team. Earth had been quietly preparing defenses and forming alliances with other marginalized species through back channels. The plan was bold, dangerous, and possibly humanity's only hope for maintaining their independence. 2 days later, Elena stood before the full Concord Assembly. High Counselor Talira had just presented the final terms for Earth's membership, terms that included even stricter oversight than originally proposed, including the requirement for neurological harmony treatments for all human leaders and scientists. The Concord has spoken. Talira concluded, their skin shifting through confident shades of gold and amber. These terms are most generous, considering humanity's unpredictable nature. We await Earth's formal acceptance. Elena stepped forward, her footsteps echoing in the suddenly silent chamber. Every eye, appendage, and sensory organ was fixed on her. High Counselor, esteemed representatives of the Astral Concord, I thank you for your thorough consideration of Earth's admission. Her voice was steady, carrying to every corner of the vast room. Humanity has always dreamed of finding others among the stars. We imagined a community of diverse beings, each bringing their unique perspectives and abilities to create something greater than any could achieve alone. She paused, looking directly at Talira. What we have found instead is not a community, but a hierarchy. Not cooperation, but control. Not guidance, but subjugation. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the assembly. Talira's skin flashed alarming shades of red and black. Captain Reeves, you overstep. Earth has uncovered your plans for our neurological harmony, Elena continued, raising her voice. We know what happened to the Entheri, the Volari, and others who came before us. We know that your provisional protection is nothing but a euphemism for biological and cultural erasure. The chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives from the senior races shouted for order while many provisional members sat in stunned silence. Talira's voice cut through the din. This is outrageous. Security, escort the humans to holding quarters. Elena stood her ground as station security approached. By the authority vested in me by the United Earth Government, I hereby formally reject the Astral Concord's terms and withdraw Earth's application for membership. We came seeking friends and found would-be masters. That is a role humanity will never accept. She nodded to her team, who had positioned themselves near the exits. As security closed in, Devi activated a device on his wrist. Suddenly, every screen in the chamber displayed the same information: the hidden records of species modification, the secret directives to contain human innovation, the plans for neurological adjustment. What you see is being transmitted to every species in the Concord, Elena announced. The truth you've hidden for millennia is hidden no longer. As security reached for her, Elena and her team activated emergency transport devices, technology the Concord didn't know humans had developed. They disappeared in flashes of blue light, leaving behind only Elena's final words echoing in the chamber. We wanted peace until we saw what your peace truly costs. Humanity stands for freedom, our own, and that of any who would stand with us. On their ship, now breaking away from the station, Elena watched as Concordia grew smaller in the viewport. Alarms blared throughout the station, and ships were scrambling to intercept them. Jump drives ready, Davy reported from the helm. But we have company. Concord vessels on approach. They can't risk destroying us openly, Elena said. Not with what we've just revealed to their member species. They'll try to disable us. Major Foster manned the defensive systems, shields at maximum. We just need to hold them off until... A massive flash of light erupted nearby as space itself seemed to fold. A ship unlike any they'd seen before appeared between the Horizon Seeker and the pursuing Concord vessels. Unknown ship is hailing us, Sophia reported, confusion evident in her voice. On screen, Elena ordered. The view screen displayed a humanoid figure with pale blue skin and striking silver eyes. Captain Reeves, I am Commander Theron of the Turin Resistance. Your message has reached those who have hidden from the Concord for centuries. We will cover your escape. The revolution you have started must reach its conclusion. Elena's eyes widened. The Xarin. Historical records said your species was wiped out in a natural disaster. Farran's laugh was bitter. The only natural disaster was our trust in the Concord. Now go. We have much to discuss. But first you must return to Earth. The senior races will not forgive what you've done today. As the Horizon Seeker activated its jump drive, Elena watched the Xarin vessel engage the Concord ships with technology that seemed to bend the very laws of physics. The stars stretched into lines as they entered the jump, but Elena knew that what they were leaving behind was just the beginning. Humanity had abandoned the table, and the galaxy watched in terror at what might come next. The human response. Commander Sarah Jackson stood on the observation deck of the lunar military installation codenamed Bulwark, watching Earth rotate slowly against the black canvas of space. 6 weeks had passed since Captain Reeves and her team had fled the Astral Concord, igniting what some were already calling the greatest crisis in human history. Beautiful, isn't she? The voice belonged to Dr. Elias Wong, the quantum physicist whose breakthroughs had revolutionized Earth's defensive capabilities. Worth fighting for. Sarah nodded, her dark skin contrasting with the white of her uniform. At 38, she had become the youngest commander of Earth's combined defense forces, a position she'd never sought but couldn't refuse when the call came. The Concord ships have established positions at the edge of our system, she said. 17 vessels, maintaining their distance but clearly monitoring us. 17 that we can detect, Elias corrected, joining her at the viewport. His slender frame and quiet demeanor belied the brilliant mind that had conceived the quantum shield technology now protecting Earth. Our long-range sensors suggest more are hiding behind Jupiter's moons. Sarah sighed. They're still hoping we'll reconsider. After what they plan to do to us. The Valkyrie have existed for over 30,000 years, Elias replied. They think in terms of centuries, not weeks. To them, this is just the opening move in a very long game. Below them, The lunar surface was alive with activity. Construction drones swarmed over massive structures, the quantum shield generators that were humanity's best hope against superior technology. Similar installations were being built on Mars, Europa, and key asteroids throughout the solar system. "General Harper is waiting for us," Sarah said, checking the time. "The XRN representatives arrived an hour ago." They made their way through Bulwark's gleaming corridors, passing soldiers and scientists working with grim determination. The fate of their species might well depend on the work happening within these walls. The conference room was secured against any known form of surveillance. Around a circular table sat Earth's military and scientific leadership, along with two Xarin, Commander Theron, and a female introduced as Scholar Lyra. Captain Reeves was there too, looking more resolute than ever. General Harper opened the meeting. "Our deep space arrays have detected unusual activity in the Kuiper Belt. The Concorde is bringing in more ships, but slowly, hoping we won't notice. They're preparing for a containment operation," Theron said, his silver eyes gleaming under the room's lights. "It's what they did to us centuries ago. Cut off all routes of expansion, and slowly choke a civilization until it has no choice but compliance." "Except we're not as defenseless as they think," Elena countered. "Dr. Wong, update us on the shield network." Elias activated a holographic display showing the solar system. Blue points of light indicated operational shield generators, while yellow showed those under construction. Phase 1 is operational. Earth, the Moon, and Mars are now protected by quantum shields that should resist any weapon the Concorde has demonstrated. Phase 2 will extend protection to the outer colonies within 3 weeks, should resist. General Harper raised an eyebrow. "The Concorde has existed for 15 millennia, General," Elias replied evenly. "I can't rule out technologies we haven't yet observed." Scholar Lyra spoke for the first time, her voice melodious yet filled with ancient sorrow. "Your caution is wise, Dr. Wong. The Valkyrie possess weapons they have not used in thousands of years. Planet killers developed during the Shroud Wars before the Concorde's founding." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. "If they have such weapons," Sarah asked, "why haven't they used them? Why the charade of diplomacy?" "Resources," Theron answered. "Earth is valuable. Your biology, your minerals, your water. The Valkyrie prefer to subdue and exploit rather than destroy. But make no mistake, if they believe humanity cannot be controlled, they will eliminate the threat." Elena leaned forward. "Then we need to change the equation. Show them that attacking Earth would cost more than they're willing to pay." "That's where Operation Prometheus comes in," General Harper said, nodding to Sarah. Commander Jackson took control of the holographic display, replacing the solar system with schematics for a weapons platform unlike anything Earth had previously developed. "Using Dr. Wong's quantum technology, we've created something the Concorde won't expect. Weapons that can bypass their conventional defenses by shifting slightly out of phase with normal spacetime." "You've weaponized quantum tunneling," Lyra observed, clearly impressed. "Even the Valkyrie consider such technology theoretically impossible." "Humanity has a talent for achieving the impossible," Sarah replied with a grim smile. 10 platforms are already deployed in stealth configuration. If the Concorde attacks, they'll find we can strike back." General Harper addressed the room. "But weapons are only part of our strategy. Captain Reeves, report on our diplomatic initiatives." Elena stood, activating another section of the holographic display that showed various alien species. "Since our return, we've established contact with 17 species who chafe under Concorde restrictions. The Telani, the Novan Collective, the Bracari Federation, all have pledged support if we can demonstrate a viable alternative to Concorde dominance." "And what do we offer these potential allies?" asked the Secretary General of the United Earth Government, who had been listening quietly until now. "Freedom," Elena said simply. "The right to develop without interference, the right to determine their own futures, and protection against Concorde reprisals. A lofty promise, the Secretary General noted, for a species still confined to one solar system. Theron leaned forward, his intensity filling the room. You misunderstand humanity's position. Your isolation is your greatest strength. For 15,000 years, the Concord has spread its influence through a network of wormhole gates they control absolutely. Species that join must use Concord transportation, Concord communication, Concord everything. But you, Lyra continued, you develop your own FTL travel. Crude compared to the Concords, yes, but independently achieved. Do you understand how revolutionary that is? How threatening to their control? Dr. Wong nodded thoughtfully. And now we're developing our own quantum communication network that doesn't rely on their infrastructure. Precisely, Theron confirmed. You offer something no species has had since the Concord's formation, a genuine alternative. The meeting continued for hours as they refined their strategy. Continue building defenses, develop independent technologies, forge alliances with disaffected species, and present a united front against Concord aggression. As they prepared to adjourn, alarms suddenly blared throughout the base. A communications officer burst into the room. General, Concord ships are on the move. They've bypassed our outer warning systems. The holographic display automatically shifted to tactical mode, showing 3 Concord vessels breaking from their holding pattern and accelerating toward Earth. Time to intercept, General Harper demanded. 17 minutes, ma'am. They'll reach the shield perimeter in 15. They're moving too soon, Theron said, visibly confused. This isn't like the Valkyrie. They prefer patience to direct confrontation. Unless they discovered something that forced their hand, Elena suggested. Lieutenant Santos has been working with the Telani to infiltrate Concord communications. Maybe they succeeded. General Harper was already issuing orders. Deploy defensive platforms. Alert all military installations. Commander Jackson, prepare Prometheus for possible activation. Sarah moved to a dedicated console, entering her authorization codes. Prometheus platforms transitioning from passive to active status. Targeting systems online. On the holographic display, the approaching Concord vessels appeared as red triangles, moving with unnatural speed toward the blue sphere of Earth. Around the planet, small green dots represented humanity's defenses coming online. This is where we find out if our shields work, Dr. Wong said quietly. Incoming transmission from the Lid Concord vessel, the communications officer announced. Put it through, ordered the Secretary General, straightening her posture. The holographic display shifted to show a Valkyrie face, not Talira, but another high-ranking official whose skin pulsed with aggressive reds and oranges. Humans of Earth, the Valkyrie began without preamble. Your reckless actions have endangered the stability of the Concord. You will power down your defensive systems and prepare to receive our peacekeeping force. Resistance will be met with appropriate measures. The Secretary General stepped forward, her voice steady. This is Secretary General Amara Okafor of the United Earth Government. Your vessels have entered our solar system without permission. We consider this an act of aggression and demand that you withdraw immediately. The Valkyrie's skin darkened. You are not in a position to make demands. We have monitored your defensive preparations. They are impressive for such a young species, but ultimately futile. The Concord has maintained peace for 15 millennia. We will not allow one species to disrupt that peace. Peace through subjugation is not peace at all, Okafor replied. Earth will not surrender its sovereignty. We have the means to defend ourselves, and we will use them if necessary. A bluff, the Valkyrie dismissed. Our scans show your technology, while advanced for your development stage, is no match for our capabilities. Sarah exchanged glances with Dr. Wong. The Concord hadn't detected the phase-shifted Prometheus platforms, exactly as they'd hoped. This is your final warning, the Valkyrie continued. Disable your shields within 5 minutes, or we will be forced to demonstrate the consequences of defiance. The transmission cut off abruptly. They're still accelerating, the tactical officer reported. 11 minutes to shield perimeter. General Harper turned to Sarah. "Commander, are the Prometheus platforms ready?" "Yes, General. All 10 platforms report ready status." "Then let's show them this isn't a bluff. Target the lead vessel's propulsion systems only. Minimal yield. I want to disable, not destroy." Sarah nodded and input the commands. On the tactical display, one of the green dots pulsed as it locked onto the lead Concorde ship. "Platform 3 has target lock. Firing solution computed. Awaiting your command." General Harper looked to the Secretary General, who nodded grimly. "Fire." There was no visible beam, no dramatic explosion. One moment the lead Concorde vessel was advancing rapidly toward Earth. The next, it suddenly veered off course, trailing a plume of vented atmosphere and debris. "Direct hit," Sarah reported. "Their main propulsion system is offline. They're switching to auxiliary power." The remaining 2 Concorde vessels immediately slowed their approach. "They're scanning for the source of the attack," the tactical officer said. "But the Prometheus platform has already shifted back out of phase. They can't detect it." "Incoming transmission from the 2nd Concorde vessel," the communications officer announced. This time, the face that appeared was Talira's, their skin a turbulent mix of colors reflecting confusion and rage. "What have you done?" they demanded. "What weapon is this?" Secretary General Okafor remained calm. "Merely a demonstration, High Counselor. We preferred to disable rather than destroy your vessel. Its crew should be unarmed." "Impossible," Talira hissed. "Your species does not possess such technology." "Evidently, we do," Okafor replied. "Now I suggest you recover your damaged vessel and withdraw from our system. We have no desire for conflict, but we will defend ourselves." Talira's skin settled into a cold blue. "This changes nothing. The Concorde has faced technological surprises before. We have always prevailed." "Perhaps," Okafor acknowledged. "But ask yourself, is subjugating humanity worth the cost? Today we disabled 1 ship. We could have destroyed all 3. The choice to escalate, or to seek genuine peace, is yours." After the transmission ended, the room remained tense as they watched the tactical display. The 2 functional Concorde vessels moved to assist their damaged companion, slowly retreating from Earth's vicinity. "They'll be back," Theron said, breaking the silence, "with more ships and a better understanding of what they're facing. But now they know we're not defenseless," Alina pointed out. "And that buys us time. Time to strengthen our position and bring more allies to our cause." General Harper nodded. "Commander Jackson, maintain Prometheus on high alert. Dr. Wong, accelerate the SHIELD network deployment. We need the outer colonies protected before they return." As the meeting dispersed, Sarah found herself alone with Alina near the viewport once more, watching as distant flashes marked the retreating Concorde vessels. "Do you think we've started a war?" Sarah asked quietly. Alina's expression was solemn. "No. We've ended one that's been going on for 15,000 years. Most of the victims just didn't know they were fighting." Standing together. The attack came 3 weeks later, not as a frontal assault, but as an infiltration. A supposedly damaged Concorde science vessel requested emergency landing permission at the Europa colony. By the time security realized the ship carried Special Operations Valkyrie, it was too late. The commandos had already deployed a device that disabled Europa's quantum shield from within. Within hours, 20 Concorde warships emerged from concealed positions in the outer solar system and converged on the Jovian moon. The battle for humanity's future had begun. In the war room beneath the lunar surface, Commander Sarah Jackson watched in grim silence as tactical displays showed Europa under siege. The colony's conventional defenses were holding. Barely, but they wouldn't last without the quantum shield. "General Harper is on Secure Channel 1, a communications officer announced. Harper's face appeared on the main screen, her expression hard as stone. "Commander, the Security Council has authorized Operation Typhon. The Concorde has crossed the line. Sarah nodded, entering her authorization code into the command console. Understood, General. Prometheus platforms are repositioning now. What's the status of our allies? Harper asked. The Teleni fleet is in position near Neptune. The Xeran are moving to cut off the Concorde's retreat path. 5 other allied species have ships en route, but they won't arrive for at least 6 hours. We need to hold until then. The Concorde must learn that humanity doesn't stand alone. After the transmission ended, Sarah turned to Dr. Wong, who had been working frantically at a nearby console. Can you get Europa's shield back online remotely? Not possible, Elias replied, frustration evident in his voice. Whatever device they